So it's Sunday morning. I thought I'd do a bit of more of an update on our setup for Spain, but also how it links to the UK. Realistically, I'm sort of getting tied in with the asset stuff again, and in all honesty, it's good money. It's mainly revolves around contracts anyway, so it's not year to year. It's more a case of 3 months here, 2 months there, etc. Some of it home working. So I'm sort of thinking, okay, well, if that's going to continue to work like that, um, I've got to set up for the UK and Spain. The reason I bring this up because it doesn't just matter about Spain. If you do go into the Philippines and go out there, realize that you could do with some more money to come back to wherever, then go back again. It's going to be a similar sort of setup, which is why I want to sort of discuss it. The first thing for me is I don't hold property in the UK. I find it's just not worth the investment for me. It would tie me down. So quite simply, I crash at my parents when I'm here. If I'm on contract out of my local area, the hotel's picked up by my clients. That's part of the agreements of contract. So I don't actually physically need a location. But if you're doing like an expat exodus to somewhere else, it may pay to actually make your house a room rental or something. So you've still got a base as one room for yourself, but you're renting the rest of the place out to make some money off it. Obviously, you need to get people you can trust in there. But at the same time, with the cost of housing in the UK, it's probably a lot easier to find people than it was, say, 10 years ago, because there's a lot of people that quite simply just want a room as a couple, etc. So there's opportunity there, definitely. But one of the things we've been talking about this morning on some of the chats is related to cars, because the UK system's hammering the tax on cars, and I begrudge giving the state money for nothing in return because they don't invest it in the system. It gets spent on everything else but the system, and then I think taxing it more fixes things when it obviously it doesn't. But the car tax on some of the normal, well, class as a normal vehicle for myself would probably be about 220 a year, £220 a year. But if I go for a small car, like a Micra, a Astra, Corsa, the small Nissans, the small, like micro cars. I don't even know what you'd classify them as. But the tax on those are about £30 a year. Bizarrely, the insurance, because of my age, is the same on one of those as it would be for a Porsche Boxster. Because I was looking at getting a Porsche, but I can't justify it to myself. I can't justify it. I could justify one in Spain once we get settled in Spain, but I cannot justify having one in the UK. I do not want to pay the running costs because obviously this is a commuting car. It's not a car that you use for the weekends. The reason I say that is the maintenance costs on something a bit more upmarket is obviously a lot more expensive, because the wear and tear, if I was using it for commuting, would be pretty high. Where if it's a weekend car in Spain, not an issue. If you're using it every day and you're going from, say, Worcester to Manchester, the wear and tear is pretty high. So this is the sort of things I'm looking at the moment. So I think I'm gonna get something like something small, but I'm still umming and how small because the reason being is if I ever decided to drive it across into Spain for whatever reason, um, because I would like to do a video from the west coast of Spain across to where we live. That'd be nice to do that journey. So, is it better to get something a little bit bigger? And that's what my sort of thing is at the moment. But we'll say getting small cars in the UK is pretty cheap. I've seen a lot of reasonable cars for about £1,000. In all honesty, I can't really justify spending more than that. I don't have any vanity issues. As long as it's reliable, I couldn't care less. Well, I say that I would like a Porsche, but once I get settled in Spain, they'll probably be on Spanish plates. Well, probably guarantee it'll be on Spanish plates. Um, but yeah, so getting set up in the UK, leaving a car behind that's MOT, taxed, insured on a regular basis, sorting accommodation out so you've got regular accommodation, all that sort of stuff, means you've always got the ability to hop backwards and forwards. What I've also done in Spain is obviously we got our T4 van, but we're going to be looking at getting a Fiat 500 for April. And once she gets the Fiat 500, the van will probably go. It's a pity, but I'm just thinking, I know I'm going to spend more money on the van than I should do. I also spend too much time on it. So I'm sort of thinking better to replace it with something that's practical for April. But we'll wait and see. But I mean, I'm going to keep it this year at least anyway. But one of the things that I have done is pay for car parking for the year. Alicante Airport, if you look around, shop around, you get parking all year round, including shuttle bus, for €250 a year, which is nothing. So this week, all my money has sort of gone on the expenses of getting back over to the UK. Sorry, last week. Next pay profit. So it's good. I mean, now everything's paid for the year. I've got flight costs going backwards and forwards, but I just want to talk about the fact that it's doable to work in the UK and live in Spain. Doable to actually turn around and do contract work in the UK and go to the Philippines, because I did it. I did all right. Because the thing is, if you do 3 months work in the UK, I don't know what other people's salary scales are, but what I do, 1 week in the UK was or at least is a month in the Philippines. Here for Spain, 1 week equals just under a month at the minute, because I'm on a lower rate than I normally work for. But the project's ongoing, a lot more flexibility, a lot easier to commute, etc. So you've got to weigh up your options on what suits everybody. So yeah, there's a lot of upsides to it. So yeah, I just want to share that and just talk about it, because it sort of gives you an idea of what I'm up to at the moment. Because at the moment I'm putting the foundations down for going forward. I would like to open a business in Spain, but I'm still trying to find the right location. It also seems there's a bit of a upsurge in business in La Mata. There's a lot more businesses opening up. There's some renovation projects going on with some of the places have been shut down for years. I think what's happening is a return to normality is almost happening after the crash. I'm not sure how long it will last, but certainly there's a lot of positive change going on. Yeah, and if you want to rent long term in La Mata, start shopping around, because long term rent is very hard to find in our location. Short term, not a problem. Long term, most people are going for the short term, bigger money. Although over a year, it averages out anyway. For myself, I'd rather have somebody there for 4 years and not worry about it than be changing every 2 weeks or a week for different people coming and going. But anyway, I know the chat's a bit quiet today, but I do these sort of impromptu because I'm going to be sat here for the next 16 hours working on some stuff for work. But I just wanted to drop in and say hello and just do a quick update. Thanks for watching.